Ladies and gentlemen, the great resignation is now global. It's not just happening here in the US, it is also happening in other countries around the world where people are resigning in big numbers. So, we already know about the great resignation in the US. So, this is the Washington Post, October 18th, 2021. The great resignation goes global. So we know August was a record great breaking month for resignations in America at 4.3 million. And staffing issues are not improving at all at this point in time in the US. So now let me go a little further down here so you can hear what's happening in other countries. In democratic Western Europe, a stronger safety net has led to somewhat less disruption in the workforce. But similar trends are at play. Data collated by the OECD, which groups most of the advanced industrial democracies show that its 38 member country, about 20 million fewer people are in the workplace. And that's right now. And prior to the pandemic, this was not the case, according to Political Europe. Of these, 14 million have exited the labor market and are classified as not working and not looking for work. Now, they said in 2019, it was only 3 million young people that were not working and not looking for work. Okay, so a survey published in August found that a third of all Germany companies are reporting a dearth in skilled workers that month. So they're saying they are 400,000 skilled workers short in their economy. And it's a whole host of different industries from nursing care to green tech companies. And rising wages in Central East and Eastern Europe countries have led to shortages of meat packers and hospitality workers in countries like Germany and Denmark. So they have raised the salary, but they're still not getting the workers. Frankly, this is a pay issue, said Andrew Watt, head of the European Economic Unit of Macroeconomic Policy Institute at the German trade union. Wages will have to increase in these sectors to get people back into tough, low paid jobs. So he said that's not a bad thing. So they're having the same problem they're having in the US. They don't want to pay enough money in certain industries and people are leaving. So in Latin America and the Caribbean, 26 million people lost their jobs last year amid pandemic era shutdowns, according to the UN International Labor Organization. The vast majority of jobs that have returned are in an informal sector, an outcome that often means even lower pay and greater responsibility in regions already defined by profound economic inequality. These jobs are generally unstable with low wages, without social protection or rights. Okay, so the disproportionate impact of the pandemic on the region's youth. According to one study earlier this year, 1 in 6 people ages between 18 to 29 in Latin America and the Caribbean had left work since the pandemic began. In Asia, diverse economies, other pains are being felt. China is seeing its own version of the great resignation with a younger generation of workers more disenchanted by the prospects and turned off by the relatively low wages in the manufacturing centers that powered China's economic rise. Authorities in Beijing warning of a growing shortage of skilled workers in its crucial tech industry, a challenge for China's leadership as it tries to steer the national economy towards more skilled sectors. And the global demands picked up after the follows months of the pandemic. Factories are feeling the pinch of labor shortages. So they had to shut down many of these factories when they got hit. China went through more than one shutdown. They went through a second one when Delta hit. And they have not been able to really catch up that well since. Plus, they got a labor shortage on top of being behind on everything that should have shipped out of there. Another labor related pandemic phenomena is crystallizing in neighboring Vietnam. Many migrant workers who left for their rural homes when jobs in big cities dried up amid lockdown are not coming back. It is clear there is an extreme hardship faced by both businesses and workers during the prolonged lockdown. And there was particular pain and hardship for people at lower income levels who didn't have money for rent or food. In their villages, many of Asia's working poor can at least count on roofs over their head and food to eat. It's another form of resignation. Those who clung to what jobs they could keep were often coping with more dire conditions. So, what they're saying is the people that hung in there and had jobs, those jobs became more difficult to deal with. So, with the pandemic snarling fast fashion supply chains, millions of garment workers in South Asia, as a recent study by the Asia Floor Wage Allegiance, um, they're saying they had to swallow wage losses and endure work arrangements marked by widespread human rights abuses. So, and they are also having problems in Myanmar, Honduras, Ethiopia, India. They're also having worker uh, shortages there. Oh my goodness, this is global. About a third of workers who changed jobs reported worse working conditions, including lower pay and more risk. Workers were already not being paid fair and had little savings at the beginning of the pandemic. Now, most are deep in debt, and those who have found jobs again found themselves in more abusive conditions, but without a voice anymore. Oh boy, they're not lying. It's on the worker shortage is everywhere. They're not lying about that. I always knew it was worker shortages here in North America, but man, global? That's crazy. But isn't this a global takedown? Sure looks that way, don't it? But y'all, please tell me what you think. Wow, when you start seeing stuff like this, it is real. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video.